As I conclude, I wish to invite a reading of a poem by Dr. Wendy Manchester Ibrahim from the Rhode Island Council for Muslim Advancement.
Look at you. Look at all of you. I have had the pleasure of sitting here and looking out into the sea of faces. You can't hear me. Okay, look at you is what I'm saying. I have had the pleasure of sitting here and looking out into the sea of faces. And in this last 72 hours, thank you, I'm shorter than everyone else who's been up here. Over the last 72 hours, I've really become connected with this truth. That is it is the compassion in the hearts of each and every one of you that is going to dilute the sea of hatred that we're seeing. So I thank you so much. It's cold. Since we're calling out truth, it's cold. And I appreciate that you're out here. I have been invited by a sister of mine to read a poem to you today. This poem isn't my own words. This was circulating around the internet. It was written by an anonymous Muslim woman who calls herself only a radiant Muslim. And it speaks to the heart of many of us about what it was like to experience knowing that 51 of our brothers and sisters had passed away in New Zealand this week. So this poem is written in the form of a letter to the person who performed the attacks. I appreciate that you made the effort to find out the timing of our noon prayer. I appreciate that you learned more about our religion to know that Fridays are the days that men go to the mosques for their congregational prayers. But I guess there were some things I have to hold this differently. But I guess there were some things you rather unfortunately didn't get to learn. Perhaps you didn't know that what you did made them martyrs. And how you have single-handedly raised the statuses of our brothers and sisters in their eyes of their beloved Creator with your actions, and how through your actions they will be raised as most righteous and pious Muslims. Perhaps you didn't know that doing what you did at the time and place you chose, it actually meant that the last words that escaped their lips were probably words of remembrance and praise to Allah, which is a noble end many Muslims could only dream of. And perhaps you didn't know, but what you did would almost guarantee them paradise. I appreciate that you showed the world how Muslims welcome with open arms even people like yourself into our mosques, which is our second home. I appreciate you for showing that our mosques have no locks or gates and are unguarded because everyone and anyone is welcome to be with us. I appreciate you for allowing the world to see the powerful image of a man you injured, lying on his back on a stretcher with his index finger raised high as a declaration of his faith and complete trust in Allah. I appreciate how you brought the churches and communities together to stand with us Muslims. I appreciate that you made countless New Zealanders come out of their homes to visit mosques nearest to them with flowers and beautiful messages of peace and love. You have broken many, many hearts, and you have made the world weep. You have left a huge void. But what you also have done has brought us closer together, and it has strengthened our faith and resolve. In the coming weeks, more people will turn up at the mosques, a place you hate so much, fortified by the strength of their faith and inspired by their fallen brothers and sisters. In the coming weeks, more non-Muslims will turn up at the gates of mosques with fresh flowers and beautifully handwritten notes. They may not have known where the mosques were in their area, but now they do, all because of you. You may have achieved your aim of intending destruction, but I guess you failed to incite hatred, fear, and despair in all of us. And while I understand that it may have been your objective, I hate to say that after all that elaborate planning and the perverse and wretched efforts on your part, you still failed to drive a divide among the Muslims and non-Muslims in the world. For that, I can't say that I'm sorry. A radiant Muslim.
Alhamdulillah, thank you for that wonderful and inspiring poem.